Hi everyone, it's Tracy from Downward Dog Rising, and I'm going to give you a foam roller glute release today. So if you have a foam roller, hold on, I'll show you what one is. Do you have one of these at home? If you have one of these, then this workout today is for you. So join me, and I just want to get your glutes to release a little bit, and then I'll stabilize your lumbar spine, your low back, and then I'll stretch out your hip flexor so that it kind of relates to the low back too. So hamstrings, hip flexors, your glutes, and then core strength. So let's begin. Okay, all right. First of all, I'm gonna ask you to place your foam roller horizontally across your mat. And maybe I'll slide back a little more so I'm in the frame. Yep, okay. Notice how it's horizontally across the mat. And then start, okay, I'll get you this way. Sit on top of your sits bones, and you're gonna tighten your core to your back. You're gonna bring one hand to the mat behind you, crisscross your ankle above your knee, and see if it's okay to rotate like this, right where this crease is, right in the side of your hip and thigh. You just rotate it into there. And then you could either hold the foam roll or you can bring your hands to the floor. And I want you to just real easy and slow roll right into the side of your hip over here. And you just breathe in and then breathe out. Just rolling right into that hip. Ooh, you're gonna feel those muscles that wrap into the side of your glute. Inhale, exhale. So sometimes you get ischemia or there's lack of blood flow. It's ischemic, and then you gotta move a little bit. Ischemic, I don't even know how to say it anymore. Ischemia, I can't say it. And you just roll across, and then you're doing okay if it hurts so good. But if the pain gets worse and worse as you're going along, then back off. That means it's too much and you don't want to hurt yourself. Okay, so after you roll over the side and into the edge of that hip, slowly start to bring both hands behind you, but you don't want to arch your back. And then I just want you to roll like right over one glute, and just go back and forth several times right across the edge of your glute. It's like you're gonna go a little bit right across, back and forth, just a little bit more. Inhale, exhale. Just breathe. Just breathe. If it's real intense, make sure you don't stay in one spot for too long, because then that could also hurt worse later. We don't want to irritate. Okay, come back center, and then I'm going to face the other direction, but if you want, you could just go like this, cross your opposite. That's what you'll be doing. And I'm going to sit facing this way. If you want, you could do what I'm doing, up to you. So then I just came on to the mat. I'm sitting on the foam roll, and then I'm just gonna we switched legs, so now it's the left leg, so I want you to take that leg, maybe tighten your core, reach back, crisscross the ankle over the knee. Now, you're gonna start to turn. You're in the crease right over here, and then you're just gonna slowly start to roll right in there. Inhale. Exhale, like right into that side there. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Just getting right into the side there. Feel really good getting across those glute fibers, the side of the hip. And then I can give you a stretch after we do this too. So you're just going in there, back and forth, back and forth. Couple more. Excellent. And then just like we did on the other side, slowly bring both arms behind you. If it's too far back to reach, maybe just place your hand over the foam roll. And then you're just gonna roll across the edge of the hip. We're staying away from the tailbone. You're on the side of your glute. And then just breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. So we have 3 different glutes. Inhale, exhale. Sometimes it'll feel like it's bruised in there when things get really tight. All right, inhale, exhale. Just get that glute. Now, we're gonna come center again, one more time. And then you're just gonna be like right on top of those sits bones. And then what I want you to do next, we're gonna do a set of bridging. So I'm gonna ask you to come all the way down to your mat. And then neutral spine. I'm gonna remind you what neutral spine, because it's really important when we do our hip flexor stretch that your spine is neutral, because if it's not, you're gonna overload the lumbar area and it won't be nice, it'll compress it, we don't want that. Okay, so real quick, we're gonna come to our mat, and then basically, what I want you to know, when your 2 hip bones face directly above you, you're neutral. And then when your hip bones fall back, that's a posterior pelvic tilt because we rolled back posteriorly. Here's neutral, hips to sky. Now if we roll our hip bones forward, watch my low back. It starts to arch. And right now my back, I can feel it like getting tighter. We don't want that either. So when we lift our pelvis and stick it on top of the foam roller, the worst thing you can do with your hips up in the air on the foam roller is tilt your hip bones away from you that way. We do not want to do that because that will load up your back. So when you lift and you bridge onto the foam roll, remember, we're going to go from our neutral into the posterior tilt like that just to stay safe so this part elongates and lengthens. So then what I'm going to have you do, just doing a bridge, you don't have to peel hip bones back and do the tilt unless you're articulating your bridge off the mat, but we're not. We're going to do a straight bridge, neutral hip lift, straight up, straight down. Avoid putting any pressure at all in the neck. It goes across shoulder girdle and your back, shoulder blade shelf. So now you're going to take your feet a little closer and then see hip width apart. And then basically, I want you to feel your glutes. Make sure you can turn them both on. We need them to work a lot, actually. We don't want the hamstrings to take over because then it'll compromise our low back. So squeeze those glutes, activate the glutes. Feel the bottoms of your feet push down into your mat. Feel the collarbones and chest wide, no pressure in neck. Now scoop abdominal wall super tight to your back. And as you lengthen your tailbone away, feel the front of your thighs stretch long. My glutes are working hard right now. And then you just bring your hips preferably down at the exact same time. So it's going to say, you're going to go straight up. Feel the connection front to back body. Come straight back to mat. Stabilize your spine, scoop core tight, 8. Engage those glutes, come straight in. And 7, it's a straight lift. The energy is the shoulders, hips, past the knees. You're too high if your hips go up too high and go out of alignment. And come straight back to that. And 6, Engage your glutes. Straight back to mat. And 5. Those knees pull towards each other. Feel those glutes. Straight back to mat. And 4. Press into all 4 corners of your feet. Feel your glutes. Stretch that spine long. And down. And 3. Straight up. Straight down. 2 more. Chest is open. Feel those glutes working. Straight up. Straight back to mat. 1 more time. It's a straight lift. Feel those glutes. And straight back. Now either take one leg in at a time. Feel how your back lengthens and it even stretches the front of your hip out. Stay here for a second. Let that back release into the mat. And inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 1 more time. And then switch. Hug the other knee in. This other leg is just reaching straight down into your mat. You hug in. So this hip flexor is lengthening. And I'm doing it this way because if you need a modification, just stay here. You're not going to even put your pelvis on top of the foam roller. Sometimes if your back is feeling iffy, like it's not feeling right, like it's going to go out, then definitely you're not going to put your back on the foam roller. And I don't want you to get up on the foam roller. If you have osteoporosis, I don't want you to get on it for this part, because if you do it wrong, I definitely don't want you to feel like you're pushing. All right, so now release this leg. Your foam roll, you're going to bring it horizontally under the back of your thighs. And remember, when we do our bridge, we bring the foam roll. Okay, feel where your hip bone is in the front. So I'm going to explain how do you know you're in the right spot. Your hip bone is in the front. Go to the opposite side of where the front of your hip bone is. And we're going to lay that foam roller across the back of the pelvis. You want to make sure that the foam roller is not going across those lumbar low back vertebrae. We do not want to hurt anything in there. If you had like a protruding disc and didn't know it and you put that pressure, we definitely don't want to do that to your low back. So make sure the foam roller stays lower than the low back across the back of your hips, your pelvis. All right? And then what I want you to do, tighten into your center, bridge up. Now slide the foam roll. Now if lifting up your pelvis hurts your back, like you feel unsupported when you lift up here, that means this exercise variation is not right for you. So avoid coming up onto the foam roll and do the knee into the chest, leg down on floor instead. So here, you're right across the back of the pelvis. You're lower than the low back here. What I want you to do, tilt. Here comes your posterior pelvic tilt. It will stretch through the front of your hip and thigh here, and we're protecting your low back so you don't rotate hips forward and then compress and then have your back feel like it goes like that. And so we're just keeping the elongation in your low back. Think hip bones roll back towards navel. You'll feel a stretch along the front of the hip here. And we're just letting it stretch for a second. Feel how there's no pressure directly in the neck. You're not loading all the weight into the neck. So I want you to tighten your core to your back. And then without moving your hips, tighten your core in. And then tap down, tighten the core. We'll just do 5, 4, pull into your core. Keep the tailbone long. 3, 2 more. Last one. Now do 5 on the other leg. Again, tailbone long. 5. Scoop in really tight. 4. core is strong. 3, pelvis is stabilized. 2 more. Exhale. Inhale, tailbone long. 1 more. Now, keeping hip bones rolling back, hug knee in. And then I want you to feel, I'm going to do it on the other side, sorry, so you can see what's happening. Hug knee in. Feel the openness here on the front of the hip. Now, your knee is over your second toe. Carefully, just slowly start to inch the leg away from you. Sometimes you'll slide, so you'll just adjust yourself, but remember, it's not on your low back. And then if the whole pelvis pulls forward, you've lost the alignment, and then we're trying to stay back to get the front of the thigh to really pull open out of the hip. So then you're inching this leg away. I'm sliding a little bit, adjusting into the mat. There you go. Now feel this part here and just stay here and breathe. Inhale. My back is sliding. Inhale, exhale. I'm losing my roller. Hold on. I tilt my hips. There we go. So you're just stretching and stay here and breathe. Your knee is over your second toe. You're keeping that patellar, that knee tracking. And just inhale, exhale, no weight in neck, chest open. Just stay here, breathe. Right now, it's really starting to release in the front there. You're breathing in, getting your hip flexor. The hip flexor inserts into your vertebra in the back, so I just want to lengthen. I think I heard a cat. Like, you know when a cat makes a weird noise outside, like a screaming noise? I think I just heard that. Breathing in, breathing out. There was a black cat in my driveway when I came home tonight. I'm like, whose cat is that? Inhale, exhale. Feel the front of your hip. Inhale, exhale. Okay, now slowly start to inch this leg back in. And then I just want you to come down for a second. Notice how that side feels in your back. Maybe extend your legs out for a second. Just release for a second. Give yourself a little rest. Okay, now we're going to go to the other side. So we're going to do neutral bridge to get on your roller. Tighten core in. No weight in neck. Your glutes engaged. Lift up, tailbone long. Find the spot where you're across from that hip bone on the back of your pelvis, the back of the iliac crest, the back of the pelvis. Now take your other knee, keep the low back long, and then I keep sliding, and then you hug in, and then, did I already do this side? Am I losing it? Yeah, I'm losing it. Okay, we're doing this side now. Hug your leg in. Now inch this other leg down away from you, knee over second toe. Get the front of that hip to stretch. And if you have a tighter side, the leg has a tendency to stay up higher. It doesn't go as far out. So just give it some time and just stay here and breathe. Keep tailbone long, chest open, and breathe. Inhale, exhale. If at any point you're uncomfortable because the back of your pelvis is on the foam roll, then come on off of it, come on down. You shouldn't be uncomfortable. See if you could extend a little bit more, and then just feel how it starts to really feel like it's opening up in the front of that hip joint. Inhale, exhale, stay here. Inhale, exhale. Really feel how it really opens up the front of the thigh. Again, we avoid arching our back. We don't want to compress it. Tailbone long. Inhale, exhale. Just let it release. Excellent. When you're ready, slowly you're going to start to bring this leg in. And then I'm going to have you gently roll that foam roll out from underneath your pelvis. And then I just want you to take a second. And then you're going to extend the legs out straight. And then after you, I have a Pilates mat under my yoga mat, so it ended and my head fell down to the lower mat, so I just had to slide down. So right now, it should feel like you're close or you're lower down against the mat. You're lower down to the mat, and it should feel like there's more space. It feels more open across the front of your hip joint. So just stay here for a second. Let your body just feel it. Inhale, exhale. Now say you're super duper tight in your glutes, and it's hard for you to cross your leg like this. It's hard for you to do this and to lift your leg up in the air and hold it close to you. If that's too much of a stretch for you, you don't have to do it that way. You would take your foam roll, place it horizontally across your mat. Your hips are straight, they're directly under your shoulders. So take your ankle, so I'm gonna modify this. Take the ankle over the knee, and then you'll feel it already. You're already going to feel it. And then you're going to feel that hip stretch. Flex your foot so you feel your hip a little more. And chances are you're going to feel this glute. Now, if this is not giving you a stretch from here, this is modified from here, lift up the bottom leg and hug it towards you, keeping that low back on the mat. And you're just going to hold this stretch, flex your feet to help release those hips a little more. You're going to feel that tailbone heavy on the mat. Your low back is close to the mat. We're just going to stay here and breathe for a second. Inhaling and exhaling. Just going to get into our lateral hip and our glute. Breathing in, breathing out. That lateral rotator. Breathing in, breathing out. You're going to feel piriformis stretch. And I'll even have you do one more glute stretch after this one before we switch sides. So this will feel good. Now place your foot back on the foam roll just to have something for support, and then start to pull your knee without rotating your pelvis. You could even extend this leg across the foam roll where it's comfortable so you have a little support. What you would do, I just want to have it not like right under the knee joint. I made it go up a little higher past the knee joint so it's not uncomfortable at the back of the knee. What you could do, you start to pull the knee towards chest. Now without turning or rotating your pelvis, start to bring your knee up towards the opposite shoulder. Now right in there, hold there. So if any of the preceding stretches were too much for you, this should be a good one because it's going to keep that back down on the mat and you're going to feel it right across there. So you just hug in. You don't want to have the knee be unsupported, so wherever you can kind of pull the knee towards you and then just slant it away towards this shoulder without putting pressure directly on the joint. And just breathe. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. You could stay here as long as you want, as long as you need to get your glute to release. Just soften into it. Push pause if you need to and just hang out for a while, because then we're going to do the other leg. You bring your feet, here's modification, your feet are on the foam roll just so you have some support, and then you just take that leg, cross it, flex your foot. So then you might feel your hip, your glute, you already might have a stretch. Then you could just stay here. And then if you feel like you're not getting enough of a stretch, then you could bring hands under the hamstring, back of the thigh, and just hug it towards you. And just stay here and breathe. And then you're gonna feel how that thigh laterally rotates out. Try to flex your feet. And if it's really hard to get your foot over the knee, then stay at this location, or you could come with your foot on the mat even. So just see what works for you. And then you just breathe, stay here. Back is on the mat. Just letting the tension get out of your glutes. Breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Two more times. Breathing in, breathing out. And last one. Now bringing your foot to the foam roller, and you're gonna start to hug, like it's like you're hugging your knee to your chest, or maybe you'll slide the back of the thigh over the roller so it's above the knee, back of the knee. And then you're just gonna start to like bring this knee towards opposite shoulder, keeping your back on the mat so that you feel it going into this other glute. So you're just gently hugging in. So I'm just supporting your lumbar spine. I'm not letting you twist it. You're just pulling the knee slightly across towards opposite shoulder just to get that glute. Hug it in, breathing out. Send the breath, the inhale, into the tightness, and just exhale, let it go. So you just send it into that spot that feels super tight, and then just let it go. You're just breathing in, breathing out. Excellent. Now slowly, we're just gonna release that leg. And then what I want you to do, see if it's okay to bring the bottoms of your feet together. You could put a pillow under each knee joint to hold, give support to your knees. I'll give an example if I can reach my block, my yoga block. So if you have a pillow from your couch or your bed, get 2 pillows. I just heard something again, that's weird. Huh, I don't know. Okay, the knee is resting on your block. You could bring your knee on the foam roller, and then you have both knees supported. Feel the back of the pelvis widening into your mat, and just take a moment just to get the front of the hip to release. Your back is on the mat. Your arms are relaxed. Take a few inhales and exhales here. . breathing in, breathing out. Gravity's just gently pressing down on those inner thighs. All right, slowly, you can stay here longer if you need to. Hit pause, stay here as long as you need to. If it's relaxing you, stay here and chill. And then when you're ready to join, just unpause. So then you're gonna pull the knees together, and then I want you to reach under them, under the kneecaps, and just let the back float down into the mat for a second. Take a couple inhales and exhales here. And chances are, whenever you're doing any of the stretches like this, when you bring your knees in, you might even be comfortable to prop your neck up a little. And then I'll show you, if when you're lying on your mat, if your head feels like it's unsupported, like back like this, it's gonna help your spine have more support by placing it on a little pillow just to keep it aligned. So you're just breathing, breathing in, breathing out. All right, you did it. I hope this helped. So now you're just gonna turn to our side. Take a moment, turn. And you're just staying here for a second. So you don't see stars since you're laying down the whole time. I don't want you to see stars. So now you just press down into your palm, maybe tighten your core to your back, and then you just lift your body up. All right. And that's it. I gave you a stretch for your glute, your psoas, your hip flexor, and then we got into your piriformis a little bit, and the lateral hip rotator, side glute. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope this helped you. All right, I'll be back soon. It's late here, so I'm gonna call it a day right now, but I'll plan on coming back for a workout session. So I'm hoping tomorrow we'll do a workout session, either yoga or Pilates, all right? Maybe both at one time, one video. We'll see. Okay, thanks for joining. Please hit like, share, subscribe if you like my content, because that'll help me tremendously. So I appreciate you all. Thank you. Take care. Bye. Peace.